The line is Saudi Arabia's attempt to impress the world, but is it really viable? Will this project get off the ground? How this will all be built in just 4 years, you can see all of this here. Neom is the city of the future. This is what everyone expects, where it will be divided into 4 regions: the line, Oxagon, Trojena, Sindalah. This is all being built in the northwest region of Saudi Arabia, but how is this progress? In recent months, there has been a flurry of events at Neom, from major announcements to the start of construction on site. All this because they are being pressured to deliver by the deadline. But first, let's contextualize. Created by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Neom is a futuristic project that aims to establish an immense megacity that was home to more than 9 million people in an area between the Red Sea, Jordan, and the Gulf of Acaba, equivalent in size to an entire country like Belgium, which has a deadline for delivery of 2030. But why 2030? The date is related to the Vision Program 2030, a program that aims to modernize the country and find a more sustainable economic model, a meditation for Saudi Arabia's dependence on oil, and to achieve your goal. The country appears to be ready to invest money, as the initial cost of work it was announced at around 700 billion. This investment is mainly financed by the public pocket. In addition to the mega project, the line that we will talk about throughout the video, new projects have been added, one of which is Leia, a tourism site that will house 3 luxury hotels. A total of 120 rooms will be divided between the 3 buildings. The Oasis Hotel, designed by Mario Cucinella, O Adventure Hotel by Chris Van Duijin, and the Wellness Hotel by Sean Killa, 3 architects known for their futuristic architectural proposals. Sean Killa, for example, is known for having designed C, one of Dubai's most symbolic buildings. They promise to preserve 95% of the natural environment. This goodwill is unlikely to reciprocate to the reality of the work to come.
Although computer-generated images show buildings in perfect harmony with the natural environment, it's hard to believe that the construction of such buildings will occur without damaging the site.
The start date of the works is not completely definitive, but the forecast is to begin in 2026 and be completed in 2030. But there was also the announcement of 4 other projects, all on the shores of the Gulf of Acaba, were revealed. Most of them are new tourist destinations which seem to be reserved for the richest. A clear attempt to strengthen Neom's luxury tourism offering. In this spirit, an even more futuristic Epicon creation was presented, a resort of the future made up of 2 immense glass towers that look like they came out of a science fiction movie. One will be 225 meters high and the other 275 meters. Leonard Milford, one of the Epic's architects, makes a direct reference to the world of science fiction in the presentation video. It's hard to prove him wrong, as the video shows the building appearing out of nowhere in the middle of the desert. The 2 towers, along with the beach residences next to them, they will house a heliport, a hotel, and luxury stores with the highest quality standards. These luxurious promises seem to have no end. Do you want a top-notch seaside resort? Go to Sarana and its marina, accessible only by boat. Another resort with sea views is Norlana, a new tourist complex that at first glance it looks less grand than the other buildings, but still with the same promise of comfort. Last but not least, Aquelum. This is a new fantasy that will take place in the Gulf of Acaba. This novelty will be built vertically inside a mountain, so that the buildings will only be visible to visitors the neck when they are inside the marina, giving access to this new tourist destination and luxury life with a more cultural focus. Utamo has also been part of the announcements in recent weeks on the Saudi side, a spectacular theater located inside a mountain. This troglodyte theater will be accessible by boat after passing through a garden specially designed and unique monumental gate. The 2 architects of the project imagined a unique place for art, Riyadh World Expo, with capacity for 2,600 spectators. Unfortunately, like the rest of the buildings, this project does not yet have a delivery date. The last few months at Neom, it's been like a big architecture competition. In the project's program, each one more insane than the other, presented with great fanfare and expertly orchestrated communication. Although they are all part of Neom and therefore Vision 2030, it's hard to believe they will all be in operation by that date, especially because the eyes of the country and the world will be facing another part of Saudi Arabia. Riyadh, the city, has just been officially designated as the headquarters of the World Exhibition of 2030. This global event promises to attract millions of visitors from around the world. It is also an ideal opportunity for Saudi Arabia to show your special worldview in terms of urban planning and architecture. An example is the announcement of the Mega AB construction project, a gigantic cube 400 meters high, which aims to become the new face of the Saudi capital, decidedly forward-looking. Construction completion is scheduled before 2030. Neom's influence will certainly also be at the center of Saudi Arabia's communication strategy in 2030. But which buildings will actually be in operation and which ones will remain utopias? The last few months seem to have given us the beginning of some answers, as some buildings are taking shape on the site. Sindalah. The first indication comes from information released last October by the project promoters. Today, Neom would represent almost 3,000 employees in the services department and 60,000 workers on site. These numbers are difficult to verify, as information about the project are kept under lock and key by the Saudi government. The only certainty is that life is beginning taking shape on the ground, close to the various construction sites. This is particularly true in Sindalah. There, the luxurious island is intended for tourism. A temporary city appears to have been established on the outskirts of the island, according to satellite images. Time is of the essence, as this luxury hotel complex and marina, it should be opened in 2024. From the various videos available, there is no doubt that construction is well underway, with container ships taking turns to bring the materials needed to build the project. Sindalah was the project Neom's most modest look before the latest announcements. It will have a marina with 84 berths, luxury services, and 3 hotels. The luxury hotel group Marriott, which signed a partnership agreement with Neom, seems confident the location will open soon. In fact, on its website, you can find several job offers for the opening of its hotels there. Neom Community 1 and 2. Finally, in aerial images, the green lawn of the golf course in the middle of the island, it contrasts sharply with the surrounding sand and concrete. Proof that activities for the rich are starting to take shape. However, the accelerated pace of construction makes us wonder about the ecological promise of Neom. As in other places, Sindalah, it is sold as an ecological paradise of untouched nature. On the island, however, everything seems to have been remodeled. Further east, 2 other company towns were established. Neom Communities 1 and 2 were built in just a few months. On site, you can find public services, sports facilities, and even a Starbucks. These infrastructures house those whose mission is to carry out the project of the line. This crazy project aims to build a vertical city of 9 million inhabitants, more than 170 kilometers long. The titanic excavation work is still ongoing, and from a bird's-eye view, the route of the future line is becoming increasingly clear. Several pillars are also being erected along this immense route. The line to support the future building, which will be almost 500 meters high. The infrastructure necessary for construction, like electricity transmission poles, is also being installed at the site. International companies are working to bring to life what still seems like a widespread utopia, even more than in the case of Sindalah. The ecological cost of this project is an important issue. Although Delaney architects promise wind turbine fields and solar panels to make the building carbon neutral, its construction will generate considerable polluting activity for many years. Meanwhile, the construction of an Oxagon continues, a floating city destined to be the port and industrial heart of Neom. According to official announcements, the first terminal it should be opened in 2025. It will be one of the region's gateways to the Red Sea. Oxagon, a vital artery for international trade. Another announcement is the entry into operation in 2026 from the largest hydrogen plant in the world, to be financed at a cost of $8 billion. The first wind turbines that, together with solar panels, will provide the energy necessary for the operation of the plant, were delivered at the end of 2023. Oxagon should also include a residential and tourist section with a huge city on stilts. For now, it appears that work on this part of Oxagon has not yet begun. To conclude this overview, let's take a step forward towards the winter resort of the future. As in other parts of Neom, the main advancement concerns excavation work. Perhaps this is even more important here, as some of the surrounding mountains need to be leveled before construction can begin. According to cartographic data, none of the buildings shown in the publicity videos is still being built, but time is of the essence. Trojena is expected to host the Asian Winter Games in 2029, a countdown that doesn't stop for developers to multiply their ads. The most recent example is the revelation of a skyscraper 330-meter high sky to be raised at a location as high as the Eiffel Tower. It will be located on one of the banks of the huge artificial lake, which will be the focal point of the winter resort. The building, designed by the famous architects firm Zaha Hadid, it's absolutely sumptuous, but like the rest of the place, it remains to be seen whether it will actually see the light of day. This ends today's video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tell me what do you think will happen in the next chapters. And watch this other video now, I'm sure you'll like it.